I'm gonna come.
Don't.
I'm gonna do it.
I think you get it. That could be the review. I clapped. I saw it and I clapped. I didn't clap in the theatre, but I clapped just then. Go watch Civil War. That's the quick review. It's a great movie. It is a great exploration of how awful human beings are. It's very engrossing. There is a lot of action in it towards the end, and the action is very well done. So this is a movie where you get very well crafted scenes between great characters and very well crafted action scenes that play into the themes and the characters. It's a brilliant movie. I sat there for about 3 minutes when the credits started rolling, thinking, this movie is great. I'm going to spoil it now, because that's what I do. The quick non-spoiler review is, it's fantastic. It's not political like you might think it would be, and it deserves your attention. Go watch it. But now, spoilers!
One nation under God.
I'm not necessarily going to talk about spoilers, but in my rambling, I just don't want to accidentally ruin anything for anybody. This movie is called Civil War. It is about an American civil war in the modern age, but it's not really about a civil war. What it is an exploration of human nature through the lens of photojournalists in modern America. The movie has clear sort of jabs at certain political persons in the world. People talk about China and say China in the way Donald Trump does, and the president talks at the start of the movie and he says this is one of the greatest victories and emphasizes his language in a way Donald Trump does. So there's clear slight jabs at Donald Trump in this movie, which is fine. But the movie never takes sides, and it never, ever makes you feel one way or the other depending on what side of the political spectrum you fall on. The movie is completely about people and what people do in dire circumstances. So the Civil War is just a platform to explore that. It's kind of brilliant because these journalists, they're going from New York to Washington, D.C. They want to interview the president. And on their way, they meet multiple different people, experience multiple different things. There's people that don't realize or don't care that the war is going on. They're just living their life. There's people fighting battles. And our main characters are taking photos the whole time. Kirsten Dunst plays the main character. It's a very fantastic performance. She looks like a woman that's seen a lot, she looks like she's seen a lot, and it comes through in the performance. It was really well done. The young girl here was great. Knockoff Pedro Pascal was really good as well. Everyone was great in this movie. The old fella in the movie as well was great. This movie explores all these different aspects of humanity in such a stark way. It's not a very cinematic movie. It's not the most good-looking movie. It's, there's a wide aspect ratio. It's kind of like a documentary. A lot of handheld shots. The lighting is what it is. And to me, it brought me in a way a real cinematic movie might not have, because it felt like you were there watching these things happen. And then you watch our main characters take photos of dead people in the street or dead people they just spoke to a minute ago, and you're like, Jesus Christ, you are the hero and you are a good person, but look at what you're doing. Like, you have no soul left to be doing that. You have to be a very hard, weathered, aged, seen a lot person to do that. And as I said, Kirsten Dunst is really believable in that role. So well done on a character front there. There's a lot of music in the movie that juxtaposes the darkness of what we've just seen. Sort of each time the characters move on to a new location, there's some kind of acoustic, upbeat song that plays. I thought that was brilliant in showing the duality of humans, because you see this horrible, nasty thing just happen, and then we're off, we're dancing, and they do that multiple times with the characters as well. People get shot and killed, people almost die. 2 seconds later, they're chuckling together, having a laugh, and it's like, do you not realize people just died? And it just shows the frailty of humanity, the pointlessness of war. I said spoilers. I don't really have much to spoil. Jesse Plemons does play a very small role here, but his entire scene is very tense, very well done. I gotta shout out to the gun sound effects in this movie. I don't know if it was the cinema I was in. Loud sound effects, loud gunshots. Really well done with the sound design. It reminded me of Heat. Loud, real gunshots with that echo that sounded like they were in real space around you. Fantastic sound design. There is some subtle storytelling, visual storytelling going on. Kirsten Dunst, they don't really say she's got PTSD, but she does. And every time she's experiencing that, there's a subtle, like, light spectrum that happens around sort of the edge of the frame, like a vignette of like this shimmer, and it's very subtle, but I was noticing it and I was like, oh, that's how she's feeling right now, because in her flashback it was under that filter. I was like, that's very clever and smart. It's not going, hey, look how she's feeling. It's saying she's just feeling it. You either catch that or you don't. I do want to talk about the ending, because the ending really solidified the theme of this movie about humanity and what people will do in circumstances. Our heroes are in the siege on the White House at the end, and Kirsten Dunst essentially sacrifices herself to save the young girl, gets shot. Throughout the movie, she's been a hard ass saying, I don't care, if you died, I'd shoot your body, like take a photo of your body. And then she actually turns on that and saves the girl, and then the girl just takes the photo of Kirsten Dunst getting shot and then leaves her body there to go take a photo of the president when they eventually shoot him, showing that this girl who started off the movie completely different ends up here. And also she wants to be a photographer, a war photographer, that bad that her hero, her self-professed hero, just got shot in front of her and she doesn't care. And even Kirsten Dunst's like long-term work partner might be a relationship there as well. We don't know. Even he goes after the president and shows Kirsten Dunst nothing. She just dies without a word, and her body's just left there. There's no glorious shot to show her death. There's no sentimentality to it at all. It just moves on. That's the message of the movie. Humanity just moves on. This movie needs to be analysed because it's got a lot to say. And I don't want to sound like an idiot by speaking about it too much right now, because I did just watch it. Now, then the movie ends with Nick Offerman. Great to see him. Nick Offerman is the president. The Western Forces, they call it. They get in the Oval Office and they execute him. And the young girl takes the photo, which would be like the best photo of all time. Like, not best, but most incredible photo of all time. If you photograph the American president getting executed by these soldiers. And that's how the movie ends. And it ends on a happy song. And as the credits roll, there's a photograph that slowly comes to life. And it's the same soldiers that we just saw executing the president, smiling, posing over his dead body on the ground, like a wildlife hunter would if they had just killed a lion. And it's just like, wow. So yeah, it's a full-on movie. It's a lot to think about. There's a lot to enjoy. The action scenes at the end were really well done. Really well done. It's a very immersive movie, thoughtful movie, and I loved it. I really loved it. I thought it was quite incredible. And yeah, it doesn't get political. So if that's your worry, don't worry about it. It doesn't get political. It's just an exploration of how bad we are as a race. And got to agree with it for the most part. Everybody, bye-bye.